Let's bring in Rob G. Kind of explain. We're going to talk about Kanye West, Aaron Donald, and Jaylen Brown. Donald, of course, the superstar defensive lineman for the LA Rams, and Jaylen Brown, the star two guard for the Boston Celtics, were represented by Kanye's Donda Sports Agency, named after his mother, but they left him yesterday with statements because of his anti-Semitic comments. So, Rob G., you want to explain any further?
Sure. Well, just for full context, this has been boiling over now for a few weeks, ever since Kanye West sent out a tweet saying that it was going to be, quote, DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, which he doubled and tripled down on in various interviews over the following days. And once this started to reach a boiling point, the expectation was, well, these guys are just going to leave anyways, and to a point where Jaylen Brown made headlines over the weekend when he said he thought about it and he told the Boston Globe, you know what, I'm going to stick with Donda Sports. I like their vision. I like what the company stands for. And then, Adidas,
that changed in 24 hours.
Adidas pulled out, Balenciaga pulled out, Gap distanced themselves from Kanye West. And then both Jaylen Brown and Aaron Donald put out statements yesterday saying that they would be terminating their relationship effective immediately. However, should be noted that the president of Donda Sports, who is a Super Bowl champion himself, Antonio Brown, says that he will be sticking with Kanye and Donda Sports.
What a shocker. Oh, I'm just sorry.
Go ahead.
What a story this is. And I do get it, Chris. No matter what, even though these are Kanye's thoughts and comments and this stuff is happening to him, people have to protect their interests and, what it looks like if they're a part of or with somebody who is spewing hate or anti-Semitic comments or whatever it is. So I'm not surprised. I told you, Chris, I was surprised that Jaylen Brown was saying that he was staying.
Right.
Remember I brought up the story that our guy Gary Washburn wrote, and I brought it up to you because I thought that was weird, that he was kind of saying, I condemn, I'm what Kanye's saying, but I'm sticking around. And then all of a sudden, 24 hours later, I guess they see the aftermath. Kanye,
my guess is somebody may have gotten to Jaylen Brown.
You think so, Chris? Yeah.
I don't know for sure.
An agent or somebody said,
I
don't know if this is smart.
Somebody in the organization, or like you said, he might have just seen everybody pulling out. But Jaylen is a smart guy. But it seems like when it happens that quickly, Rob, it seems like, somebody might have said, like, Luke, you need to bail. I mean, this is not going to end well.
Right. You just don't want to be attached to it. And that's where I think it is. The sad part, Rob G, you didn't bring up, and he has a school, right, in the L.A. school district, Rob G?
Yeah, the Donda Academy, which has been trying to establish itself. It's not, what's not credential, what the word is,
accredited.
Accredited. There you go. Thank you, Professor Parker.
Thank you.
Not accredited yet, but they're trying to. And one of the things that they are pushing is they're going to be the goal is to become a destination for prep athletes. So similar to IMG Academy in Florida,
right.
You got Sierra Canyon basketball here in Southern California. He wants to be the next version of that. So they actually have a couple of players who are nationally recognized and they signed up to go to Donda Academy. In the last 24 hours, however, the school was disinvited from one of the more prominent high school basketball tournaments in the country as a result of Kanye West's comments.
And see, this is the thing. You could think that this is just what I'm saying if you're Kanye West. These are my words, whatever. But it affects a lot of people. And a lot of people are touched by it. Like, I feel bad for the school, Chris, if you're trying to do that, because the kids have nothing to do with this, right? But the kids have nothing to do with it. They're just trying to go to school, play ball, whatever. And then all of a sudden, oh, wait a minute, that's Kanye's school? Okay, no. We don't want to be attached to that. So then what happens is, that's why I'm not surprised by the players pulling. I don't know what other names. He pulled two big names, Chris. Those are two huge names that he had.
You mean Aaron Donald and Jaylen Brown?
Yeah.
I don't know who else he has. But, yeah, I mean, look, first of all, I'm sorry. If Antonio Brown
I'm with you, Chris. I am with you.
Come, is the president of your sports agency? What are you doing with them in the first place? And I get, okay, I salute the brothers if they were like, you know what, this is a black-owned company. We're going to support black agents and this type of thing. Fine. First of all, there's many other great black agents out there who are qualified and know what they're doing. Rob, remember Master P tried to do this. Remember that?
He had
25 years ago? He had
the worst
Deion
deal.
Sanders. Did he have Deion?
But he got the worst deal for the running back. His contract was.
I remember. I can't. What was the name?
Ricky Williams.
Was that Ricky Williams?
Ricky Williams, right. The worst contract in the history. He got bamboozled.
You
it was the
can't
worst contract.
Just up and become a sports agent. I don't know if people are looking at Rich Paul thinking he did that. Rich Paul learned under Leon Rose, who worked at CAA. Rich Paul worked for Nike for years. And he hired qualified agents who had been doing it for decades to work with him. He didn't just, I want to be an agent. I mean, so that, first of all, I'm sorry. I don't know what y'all were thinking. What makes Kanye West and Antonio Brown qualified to be agents? Okay. Secondly, Rob, I'm surprised. I gotta be honest, because would go back more than a year, but it would even go back maybe a few years. But it was one comment, but still, over the recent years, I have been surprised that Kanye West had kept his pop culture cachet, if you will, because he has said some things that are ridiculous. He said, remember a few years ago, that black people chose to be slaves.
No doubt.
Why wasn't he canceled then? I mean, I'm really talking. He said black people 400 years? That sounds like a choice to me. That's what he said. And he continued to be yay. And he continued, his sneakers were still hot. And his music was still hot, even though I really don't think it is that hot, quality-wise. But he was still untouchable. And then he said, remember recently, and obviously white lives matter. But white lives have never been, the value of white life in America has never been under question.
I'll have an answer for you
when you say black lives matter, it's not to say white or Hispanic or any other lives don't matter. It's just saying there's a problem in this country. And we need to address it. Just like, cancer awareness, when they wear the pink, breast cancer awareness, it's not saying other illnesses aren't just as important. It's saying we're just going to focus on this one because it is a big problem. And that is all. So when he wears a White Lives Matter shirt, you are spitting in the face of Black Lives Matter. And I don't support the Black Lives Matter organization, but the Black Lives Matter sentiment, of course, I support. And so that is another thing. But again, Rob, after he wore that shirt, no backlash. I mean, yeah, a little criticism here and there, some memes, people on Instagram posting junk. None of this. And this is what I'm saying. I'm going to say, I'll give the European Jewish community, and I say European Jewish because there's Jews of all races. There's Jewish people all over Africa, Jewish people in the Middle East who aren't white. So
Judaism is a religion.
Yes, it's not a race. It's a religion. I'll give the European Jewish community credit. You talk about them, they don't put up with that. They don't put up with it. And Nick Cannon said something. A week later, dude was apologizing, begging to be forgiven. And you see Kanye West. Kanye West gonna probably do the same thing. They don't play that. And I want our community not to play that. Because Kanye, I just said some of the things he said. And we just, little criticism, but we still loving him and supporting him. I don't even have to go into all the rap lyrics in some songs, not all rap music, but some. Killing black people. Just commonplace in some rap music. And we just support it. I don't want to hear about the art because Jewish people don't put up with it in the art. Michael Jackson changed them lyrics, dude. You ain't putting that out about us. 21 Savage a few years ago. He said Jewish money as a compliment. They were like, you better take that out. He apologized. So we need to stand up just like they did and shut down the negativity about our community. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think when you say DEFCON 3 and you're talking about...
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah. I think like the other comments you talk about, people might have taken and said, well, look who's saying it and not...
Which comment?
The wearing the White Lives Matter t-shirt. Oh, that's Kanye. He's just pulling a stunt. He's trying to get people of whatever. It's not
people
like
were
saying...
upset.
No, I know.
Because they felt like it emboldened the white supremacists, just like Jewish people felt like this emboldened anti-Semitic.
Right. Didn't you see what they had in L.A., Rob G? Did you see the bed sheet hanging off the off one of the highways here, Chris? Kanye was right about the Jews. That's exactly the stuff that people are trying to stop when you talk about hate and death and groups of people. It's all bad. But I'm not surprised that Kanye thought he was untouchable, Chris. He thought...
I agree with you.
He thought, let me keep pushing it. George Floyd didn't die from
right. I didn't even mention that.
You didn't mention that one. Right. Let me keep pushing it. Now I'm going to tell, I can say anything I want about Jewish people, and Adidas ain't going to do nothing. My sneakers so hot. They're not going to drop me. That's what he thought.
You're absolutely right.
Chris, he's in for a rude awakening, Rob G. I don't know. You see the story? He showed up at Skechers today. They escorted him out. He was unannounced, Chris. I don't know. He's trying to peddle something to Skechers. You think Skechers is going to touch Kanye West?
Rob, you hit it on the head. Kanye West has been going crazy for years.
Yes.
When he ran up on, was it Taylor Swift?
When she won the Grammy.
Because she won the award? He has been out of control thinking he's got a God complex. And I know he's talked about coming to Christ and all. And I pray for him that he's sincere or will get sincere or will grow. But he has shown himself to have a God complex. Yeezus, called himself Yeezus off Jesus. Like and you're right, Rob, he felt like he can say and
anything.
Do whatever he darn well pleases.
And Chris, we've said this a lot to people. The First Amendment means you could speak out against the government, Chris, and the government won't send the police or the military police to your house and arrest you, right? I could rip Joe Biden, I could rip the administration, the way the country's run, and I have a right to voice my disapproval of the government. Everybody in the world doesn't have that, okay? And you can say whatever you want, Chris. You can say whatever you want. I can say whatever you want, what I want. But there are consequences when you work for other people. That's all people have to understand.
Well, hold on, Rob. Kanye, and if none of us live in a vacuum.
Nope.
Donald Trump, as wealthy as it gets, right, was president, is still held to some degree accountable for the things he says. And Kanye West, Rob, I mean, he don't work for nobody. I mean, he's got deals.
No, but
wasn't he a billionaire? Weren't they saying he's a billionaire?
Not anymore now.
After losing. My point is, if you would have said that dude got money where he can say whatever the heck he wants.
No, right.
He's finding out, does that exist? It doesn't exist. Are connected to some degree.
There you go. And that's exactly the point on why we're talking about this. Is you could think these are your individual thoughts, but now, Chris, you've heard some of the reputations of some of the athletes who were involved. so they want to get out. The school, now they don't want to invite your school to come play in a basketball tournament. The kids are hurt. Do you know what I mean? People who were involved in other businesses and work with Kanye on whatever it might be are all hurt now.
Yeah, you're right. And look, I believe, Rob, that he will probably do a mea culpa.
I don't think? I don't think he can. I really don't.
I mean, I don't know if it'll necessarily get everything back. I'm just saying, what? So you think he's just gonna, I guess, try to fight it? He's talking about buying another social media platform, Parler.
Yeah, I saw
and that. So maybe he'll just, I don't know, he'll just double down and try to go against the grain, or I don't know. He's lost a lot, man. Everybody's bailing on him.
Yeah.
All right.
Whenever you talk about hate speech, people are going to be out on it.